What is the single most important number that you need to know in your real estate business? What's going on, guys? My name is Chris Elliott, real estate agent and team leader at the Elliott Real Estate Team in Glen Ellyn, Virginia. In this video today, we're going to be talking about knowing how to win the day by knowing your daily number, specifically your daily conversation number. Let's jump into the math. So, let's say you came to me and you said, "Hey, Chris, I want to close 24 transactions in 2024. I would say phenomenal. That's a great goal. Now we've got to figure out what is the math behind that, because the path is always in the math, right? There's a lot of numbers we can track, but I'm going to go through this one specifically. So if you say, "Hey, Chris, I want to close 24 deals," I'm going to say, "Hey, great. Do we know what our taken to close ratio is?" Meaning, how many of the clients that we actually sign translate into closed transactions. For the sake of this example, we're going to use 75% because you're going to take a certain amount of clients that don't close. We're not going to differentiate between buyers and sellers in this video, but you're going to take some buyers who are going to get knocked out by interest rates. You're going to take some buyers who are going to renew your lease. You're going to take some buyers who we find out have unrealistic expectations. You're going to sign a listing where they're not willing to budge on price. And we can talk about strategies on how to get that taken to close ratio up, but that's separate videos. But for the sake of this video, let's use 75%, which means that you're going to have to sign 30 clients in this calendar year if you want to have 24 transactions close, assuming you've got a 75% close ratio. So then it goes to, okay, what are the numbers that I need to know that I need to hit to sign 30 clients? Well, we're going to start tracking what is our appointment set to signed client ratio, meaning of the appointments that I set, how many of those turn into signed clients? Once again, for the sake of this training video, we're going to use 75% because you're going to set some appointments, you're going to have some people not show up, you're going to set some appointments, you're going to find out they've got unrealistic expectations, you're going to set some appointments, you're going to meet with people who are not willing to sign brokerage agreements, and I'm going to encourage you not to work with them if they're not willing to sign brokerage agreements, but let's use 75%. Okay, well, what do I need to do? So how many appointments then do I need to set in order to get 30 clients? Well, we've got to set 43 appointments in the calendar year in order to get to 30 clients in order to close 24 transactions. Are you guys starting to see the path is in the math when we look at these numbers? So that means if I'm going to set 43 appointments in 2024, I'm going to set roughly 3.6 appointments per month. And then we've got to look at, okay, if we do that, how many conversations do we have to set 3.6 appointments per month? I found that most people have a 2% conversion ratio, meaning for every 50 people that you talk to, you're going to set and have a real estate conversation, you're going to set one appointment. Now, if you are only calling your sphere of influence, yes, that number is going to be higher, but you're probably limiting the number of opportunities that you can have if you're only talking to the people you already know, if you're only talking to your sphere of influence. I'm going to encourage you to start there, but eventually we're going to have to expand out to people that we don't know, right? So that's where the 2% conversion ratio is. Obviously, if that ratio is higher, then you're in better shape, right? So for us to set 3.6 appointments per month at a 2% conversion ratio, we need to have 222 conversations with adults that are able to make decisions about real estate per month, right? Which seems like a daunting task, but let's break it down even further. That means that you need to have 55.5 conversations per week. I'm going to encourage you to be a rock star and go ahead and round that up to 56 because I've never had a half conversation with anybody, which means that you have to have 11.1 conversations per working day. And here's where the magic comes into play, my friends. If you know every single day what number that you need to hit your yearly goal, that is where the magic comes into play. That's where I know every single working day, Monday through Friday, Tuesday through Saturday, whatever your work week looks like, you know exactly the number of conversations that you need to have, and you know if everything else lines up the way it should, that if I have 11.1 conversations per day, and if I have 55.5 conversations per week, that I'm going to hit my goal. Now, here's the other cool thing. There's no rules on how you have those conversations. Those can be direct messages with your sphere of influence. Those could be, I meet people at an open house. Those could be, I cold call people. Those could be, I go door knock. But here's the deal, guys. We've got to have those conversations and you've got to know your numbers, right? But the lead source doesn't matter if you are having those conversations with people and you're able to validate what your ratios are, then you're able to boil it down to this is how many conversations I have to have on a daily basis. And it makes life very simple, very easy, because you simply know how many conversations you have to have. What are the results that I need to get every single day? What is the work that I need to put in every single day in order to achieve my weekly, monthly, and yearly goals? And that, my friend, is knowing your daily number.